Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a GameReplays.org Gamecast. Today we have Heroes of New Earth with the semifinals of the UNGL Cup number 2. I am the Four Court Jester, and with me today is LukDeRiff. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. It's pretty late over here, but as always, I'm looking forward to this cast with you, Jester.
Aw, that's so nice. But anyways, the niceties out of the way. Let's go over the bands. So this was the semifinals of the UNGL Cup number 2. Just happened, I believe, last week or the week before. And this is version 1.0.12. So keeping that in mind, let's go over the bands. Luke?
Okay, we have Engineer and for Thunderbringer, Soulsteal, Dr. Repulsor, and Balfagor, which are pretty standard bands for this patch because Engineer's turret is, it does ridiculous damage still, and Balfagor has his ultimate, which is huge, and the strength gain is not nerfed, so he's like really beefy. So these bands are really pretty much standard, apart from the Soulstealer band, which you could argue is not always banned, but he is a very ban-worthy hero.
Yeah, it's very situational. It depends if you like to play him or you don't like to play against him. You don't have first pick. You don't want them to have it. Reputable players, etc., etc. So this was before the Balfagor changes went through, where he basically got hit by that nerf stick pretty good. So that is a very understandable ban for sure. Thunderbringer, of course, the tri-lane destroyer, was tossed out the window, which kind of indicates, to me at least, that Team Global Core Gaming, or Go on the Hellborn side, really want to try up a tri-lane, and look at those first two heroes.
Yeah, this Glacius and Witchslayer, who are obviously two very strong trial lane heroes. You can run pretty much, they can run pretty much any trial lane. So yeah, as you said, that's probably gonna turn out to be a trial lane. But interesting, on the Legion side, we have Forsaken Archer, Pebbles, and Polywalk Priest. So I'm gonna be interested how their lanes really turn out, because Polywalk Priest, I've seen him in a couple of replays now, and you normally want him to go solo mid. I know that it's viable to like play him in a side lane as that kind of babysitter, but I don't really like it. I like to see him being played in that middle, and to get him this early level 6 to make him, a really strong pusher, more of a mid-game dominating hero instead of that support hero that some people see him in. And we see Defiler being picked on the Hellborn side, so that's interesting. Another strong pusher. God, this reminds me of the days of the late beta.
The days of old.
Yes, the days of old. Well, HoN is not really old, but
No.
when pushing was very popular, those two heroes. Oh, and Ophelia, how nice is that? No, when pushing was a very popular tactic, basically the main tactic, then the Fala and Polywalk Priest were like the most picked heroes in the entire game.
Well, that in mind, I mean, the game went retail May 2010. It's now October. So that's what? May, June, July, August, September, October. Within 6 months, the metagame has changed that dramatically. It's really quite amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome because we love change, and we love variety, because variety is the spice of life, as you
The
said
space of
to
life.
me once. No, not the space of life, the spice of life. Anyway, we see the Legion finishing off their lineup with Voodoo Jester and Ophelia, I think, so that's indicating probably a tri-lane from them, but that's a rather interesting, like, I'm not sure what they're gonna do really. Ophelia's obviously gonna jungle.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, it'd be funny to see Ophelia in a lane though.
I've seen
If
a
they had
laning
that.
Ophelia. Smock plays a great laning Ophelia simply because we already picked a jungler and he got random to do Ophelia. But of course that was a much lower tier game. But yeah, I mean, going with this Polywog Priest, great pushing power. To counter that, we got the Defiler with her pushing power as well. You could also argue Forsaken Archer with her skeletons can also pack a good punch on these towers, and really that kind of just ends right there. Ophelia, of course, with her minions can really just swarm towers out really nicely. So that's a very push-oriented team on the Legion
It
side there. I mean,
is.
you got a Pebbles to round it off with a Voodoo Jester, the Mass ready up here from Global Core, and so we're just going to have to see how Global Core can handle this from Animus Gaming.
Yeah, and also interesting to see is that this team is relatively early to mid-game orientated. If you see like heroes that like Pebbles, heroes like Polywog Priest and Ophelia, those heroes really peak, like have their peak of strength in the early game or in the mid game. And the only carry slash semi-carry type of hero that you see on their team is Forsaken Archer, who is also has also a very strong early game. So I suppose that they try to finish this game relatively early. But on the other side, it's interesting how now the Hellborn are gonna work the lane out, because their tri lane is gonna be, I think, it's gonna be worked around Witchslayer, Glacius, and Behemoth, so that you have probably just a destruction and what? And
What are you
just
doing?
no, no, it was like, yeah, where are Witchslayer and like Glacius heading? Are they heading with
Oh,
Valkyrie? Because that would be
Defiler.
pretty OP.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really didn't understand that word. It looks like they're going to go for a 5-man push right here at the counter warding spot, right here, because a lot of people, when they take this top lane, they'll bring over some wards, and really, if they can gank people right here at the ward spot, or even coming up from the rune,
Hmm.
it's a really strong spot to be. I mean, you're uphill. They can't see you unless there's a courier. No courier in this case. And 5-on-2 is almost at least a guaranteed 1 kill, if not a double right off the bat. Of course, this is going to be detrimental to the middle and bottom lanes because they're going to be unmanned, at least for the first creep wave. But it looks like they're going to be moving out right here to a
Yeah,
thundering crowd of nothing. Nothing happened.
yeah,
5-man push, nothing happened.
yeah. But these lanes are very interesting from the Legion side.
Is that a tri
Very
lane of
interesting.
pure support? Glacius, Behemoth, and Witchslayer heading all bottom.
Yeah, that's what I thought it would be, because that is like a tri lane to shut down the tri lane. Like you pick a tri lane with 3 support heroes that have a really strong early game to just shut down the enemy tri lane. Just counter their tri lane with a tri lane and hope that your solos win their lanes, basically. Because yeah, I've seen it being done, and I have seen it being done on the Garena servers. They like to do this a lot more than here, but it works out partially really well.
Partially
But
really well.
but yeah, well, if you can't shut down the enemy tri lane, well, obviously then you have like 3 underleveled heroes, and that's really not what you want.
No, you really don't want to sacrifice your levels for that. So let's just go over the lanes quickly before anything of importance happens. We do got that Forsaken Archer and Voodoo Jester taking on Valkyrie up top, but we have a jungling Ophelia in the top jungle as opposed to the bottom. Now what's going on up top? Voodoo Jester's dropping really, really low, but it looks like he will be able to get out of that. Not too sure what Blue's going to be able to do against this Valkyrie, but as we say that Ophelia coming down center takes out that Defiler. So here's the strength of a Ophelia up top. He could not have seen that one coming.
Yeah, that's really nice that they have that Ophelia in the top lane, because they have her now. She can access this mid lane really nicely from, coming into the back of the fighter from the jungle, and also can help out the top lane, like to get some early kills on Valkyrie. So that is really nice place, and I really like that they run Ophelia here. It's pretty interesting though, because I thought that they might run a tri lane with Pebbles in it, and that would have really surprised me, because Pebbles needs a fair share of his farm early on. So you can get the portal key relatively early on, so you can dominate mid game, which is really what Pebbles needs to do. And yeah, I'm not sure if I like it, because Polywog Priest gonna have a hell of a time down bottom. But if it works out for them, that's pretty smart.
Well, innovation is the key to success, as the saying goes. So, yeah, I don't even think I got over the lane. So, quickly again, Forsaken Archer up top with Voodoo Jester, now and Ophelia coming. It looks like they're not going to get that kill on Valkyrie. It was so close. And that puts us to 2 solo mids with a Pebbles taking on a Defiler. And that puts us again with that Polywog down south, the Lone Frog versus this support tri-lane down south. How is the support tri-lane working out for us here, Luke?
I'm not entirely sure. They're all level 2, so they're doing alright-ish. But Polywog Priest seems to be able to at least get something out of it. And you know, he's level 3, so he got a slight level advantage. What I really like about that tri lane is when you have a support tri lane, well, but there we go. Polywog Priest, no, he gets out. But the support tri lane now gives Behemoth a really early portal key, and that can be definitely devastating. If Behemoth gets a very early portal key, he can put a massive impact on early team battles. So that's the good side of it. You don't have a farm carry, but you at least got like a Behemoth with a portal key, which is not too bad either.
Well, in the middle, after all that was going on, Ophelia came down for another gank in the mid, and they were able to take down Defiler. It looks like we had Iglesias go up top to the mid to try to help him out. Was not in time. Polywog the Frog going down south to this Witch Slayer and Behemoth combo. Looked like he was caught up in the trees. I mean, a frog in his natural habitat. And at the same time as all that, Voodoo Jester went down to the top to Valkyrie, as Forsaken Archer was able to chase him into the forest there. It was a really oddly slanted jump. Really didn't do Valkyrie any favors there. But lots of action going on. We got a 3-2 lead quickly for this Legion team simply because of that Ophelia. I mean, we picked up 2 kills in the mid because of her, and really, I mean, the pick so far has paid for itself, even though it's not that really common a pick. I mean, Ophelia, when you see her, is usually labeled as, you know, the useless hero, the non-hero, and the hero that really doesn't do too much for their team. But as we see Pebbles being engaged here by Behemoth, Glacis, and Witch Slayer, does not look like Polywog wants to come up to say anything, but I don't know if they're even going to be able to take out this Pebbles. He's just very tanky compared to these level 3s, but enough slow will, you know, catch you your fish at the end of the day, and he goes down for a 3-3 tie.
Yeah, Ophelia is definitely like a pick that's really underrated. I mean, she's the least played hero in the entire game.
True.
For some reason that I don't understand. It's probably because she just needs very good micro, and people don't like to micro. I don't like to micro. So, yeah. I hate playing Ophelia. It's really awkward.
Well, that's why
But,
nobody else likes her either.
yeah, but she's a very strong hero. She was hit by the nerf bat pretty hard because she used to be a very strong pick. She used to be banned all the time in games when pushing was a really viable, well, the most common strategy. And that's just simply if you get like just 3 minions, those 3 minions, they can be so devastating early on, and that was nerfed, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I never paid too much attention to her because I just hate playing her.
Well, as you say, I mean, the metagame has now evolved really past the pushing phase. It's now much more of an gank-oriented, tri-lane-oriented domination spectator sport, whereas before it used to be turtle, take out a tower, turtle, take out a tower, turtle, take out a tower, where a lot of different strengths are emphasized, and really they're no longer emphasized, which is kind of a shame, but I mean, that's how games evolve. It looks like down south a little bit of activity, but we're all good, and because of that, like, you see heroes that used to be instant banned not even bothered to be banned anymore because they're just not worth your time. Like Jeraziah used to be a huge instant ban, Accursed, Hellbringer, Fade. When was the last time you saw Fade played, let alone banned? Like, it's just, you know, the evolving metagame of HoN has just really gone leaps and bounds in the 6 months it's been around.
It's also that people like when there's a hero that is really like played a lot. Just remember that Bryce, the electrician, when Bryce picked up electrician, and the electrician was like, everybody's, oh my god, he's so overpowered. So S2 nerfed him, and everybody was like, oh my god, now he's just not powerful at all anymore. And
well,
yeah, it's just
debatable. I mean, he still fills the support role very well. I mean, he has his... well, I'm not even really going to get into it, but yeah, basically people like to play with their toys, and when they get nerfed, they cry.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that is basically it. And it's the same with Fate, because she was insta banned and then she was nerfed, and nobody tried to pick her up even afterwards. So I was like, I'm not sure if she is as bad as people say she is, because I haven't really seen anybody try out new things with her. I guess, you know, the pro players probably try out everything, and because they got so much time to play HoN, but